Okay, guys, it's about that time. We're about to go ahead and do this. Let's lay out everything here. So I want to talk to y'all. Let me take this down because it's all in the way. It's my first time doing this in a long time, first off. So you're going to have to bear with me. It's been a while since I did a live stream where I'm on YouTube and Facebook and in a group messenger where everyone can talk to me. I would do more, but I think I don't want to kill the scene here. So I want to talk to you about the whole situation with me, right? About what I learned when it came to Turo car rental review. And a lot of people want to know, like, what's the big deal? What is it that you're talking about, Luke? Turo car rental review. Because I don't see too many people talking about the good stuff. I see people talking about the bad. I'm not trying to sugarcoat, but I'm gonna tell you what I've been through and how I got there. So if you're new to the channel, and you're new to seeing this and you're catching this on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe because on this channel, I am going to lay out everything on how to do this on this platform and other streams of income. So this ain't the only pot. And I don't want y'all to get it twisted where it's like, oh, you're talking about all you Turo. No, we're going to talk about other things. We're going to talk about digital marketing. We're going to talk about other ways to make passive income. We're going to talk about semi-passive income. We're going to talk about the whole traditional thing of working a 9 to 5 because I believe that in this time that we're living in now with the recession that's going on, with people's money getting thin, but bills keep getting high and thick, I think at the end of the day, we have to really address the elephant in the room. It's about the lack of, right? The lack of money, a lack of imagination. That's the main thing. I know if we have lack of money over here, something going on here, right? Psychologically, always people having stress, people going through issues in their life, in their marriage, all those things that can revolve around lack of this right here at the end of the day. But today we're going to talk about, or this evening, we're going to talk about the Turo review. To me, I think Turo has helped me out. I started off initially with Avail Car Share, and Avail Car Share had their things going on, right? You know, this is right around the pandemic. People weren't renting cars. People couldn't rent a car. People couldn't go out really much, but people still needed to travel if they could get to place, get groceries and things. So here comes along with Avail. Avail had a good program for it at a time where you basically hand them your keys. They take your keys and then they go ahead and take your car and they wash your car, they maintain your car, they do all those good things. Now they give you a little bit of money, right? And I didn't realize this. And if I knew this, the things I know now, I would have jumped off of them quickly as possible and got on Turo. So looking at the data that I got compared to what my earnings were when I started off with Avail, like right when I quit, I only made about maybe $4,000 out of that whole time with them. So, for example, someone's booking your trip. It might have been $4,000, maybe for 8,000. I don't know. I've been eight. Okay. So anyway, looking at all the stuff that they did, they charged a high rate, and people will renting the cars out, right? So they rent a car out for $176 a day. You only gonna see like $25 a day. So I start looking and start adding it up, but I still didn't jump off yet. I was in actually Bahrain when this shift, this pivot that happened in my life. And with with Turo, Avail, this wither away. And I will tell you why the wither away. I was on a plane heading home to North Carolina, about to buy another vehicle for my fleet, and got on the phone. And I was calling because I said, "Something ain't right. It's been October and I haven't seen anything, right? I haven't seen anything that would say, hey, we got you covered. Good job." Nothing, right? I actually saw negative. I saw that no one was booking my vehicles. This was October at the time. Now it's going into December. Something just don't seem right. Is my car there? Is it safe? He said, your car's good. I said, well, I want to go. I'm gonna pick up another vehicle, see if we can get that going or something. They said, no, you don't need to pick up no more vehicles. Actually, you need to pick up your two vehicles that we currently have. What's going on? I said, well, we're quitting. Avail's no longer going to be in Charlotte. I said, well, what about Atlanta? What about Miami? What about Florida? I can get the car there. And they said, no, all those are closing up too. And The manager couldn't quite tell me. And come to find out that there was some restructuring with Allstate. Allstate powers Avail. Avail was basically in Utah. They're still in Utah, but I guess they were like, hey, the pandemic's over with, or it's going to be over with. And we're going to go ahead and go back to things that were usual because we really don't want to put too much stock in it. Now, it didn't go away. Avail didn't go away. Don't get it wrong. What happened with Avail is that at the end of the day, they consolidated. I would say they only do Denver and they do Chicago, and that's it. Now, I had the money, I had the means to get the cars up there to transport the cars, but they said no, you got to go through last parking system. I said, what is that? It says automated system, and you park your car there. I said, well, I'm not going to be there. I just want to drop a car. I said, no, you got to go through last. So I talked to Laz. Laz was like, we don't know what you're talking about. We have no clue. They had no idea. There was a disconnect with the people down below, the people that you needed to talk to. And it was getting frustrating. So I just want to drop my car off. Can I just have a truck driver take the car up there and say, or no, we need an actual person for the car. I said, okay, I could fly there, meet the car, whatever. I said, nope. Came back and said, actually, we do not want any cars from anyone that does not live in the Chicago area or in the Denver area. So that was a nail in the coffin right there. They didn't want to do any business. So I talked to my nephew, and my nephew was like, hey, he gave me a call. He was like, hey, let me tell you something, Uncle Luke. I think it could still work if you do Turo. He knew something about it. He said, hey, go to the website and just check it out. And I checked it out, and it started making more sense. I felt like I was a dummy dealing with Avail. Turo was giving you more power to actually set the price, plan when you want to rent the cars up, plan on where the cars can get picked up at. You had that decision power. And of course, there were some takeaways. Avail had a whole big support, so they have people, they have staff. But it's kind of like, when I was dealing with Avail, when I went to go pick up my cars, one of my cars didn't start. I said, what are y'all doing? Y'all literally said that y'all would maintain these cars. That car wasn't started up for quite some time. And then they tell me, we forgot to jump it. It should have been jumped the whole time. So it made me wonder, did they even take care of the cars like I would take care of my cars? The whole deal was that they were going to take care of the cars. So with Turo, gave me more power. At the end of the day, I was able to do the things that I wanted to do. And let me tell you what I did. We went ahead, we put the Ford Fusion, we put the Nissan Sentra on the platform, and that thing started going out crazy. Like I had it where customers would book the car basically a month at a time, 2 months at a time, almost. People were renting cars, money was coming in, and the money grew. Now we do have expenses, and that's going to happen the whole time. But when you look at the things that we were doing in place to get us going, it was working. And then we started expanding, and now we're about to expand some more. I'm looking at having about a 17 to 20 car fleet in about a years and a half time, depending on how we do this. And it's not about a money thing. It's not. Money is not an issue anymore. Money is the last of the problems right there. It's the logistics, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So if you're thinking about doing Turo, I want to talk about a few things that you want to take in consideration. When I was talking to a group prior to doing Avail, prior to doing Turo was mentioned in the conversation in a group think study that we were doing, me and my friend from college and her fiance and a couple of my friends. We were worried about, it's too much work, it's too much work. And people were thinking of them doing the work, meaning that they had to go clean the cars themselves and vacuum it, things like that. And I start thinking outside the box. Why don't I shift stuff away? It's kind of like Henry Ford. Henry Ford didn't create the automobile. I want y'all to know that, right? He didn't create the automobile. He created the assembly line. He got that from George Washington Carver, right? All that is that you have people do certain things. That's all they do. They do this. This guy does that. He does the next thing. When I start looking at Turo and how it could work, I'm not getting my nephew and my sister to go wash the cars, like physically wash the car. We hire someone to do that. When we need to move cars, they come into play for that, right? If I wanted to get some maintenance done, I'm going to go take it to a maintenance guy. And I think that's what people got to misconstrue. I see a lot of people getting upset saying, well, it was just too hard. I just got busy. Because in order for you to really capitalize with Turo, with you trying to grow multi-fleet, you're gonna have to expand your reach, meaning that you're gonna have to go out and get people. And you might say, well, that's gonna cost money. It takes money to make money ultimately, right? When you scale, you start off with one car, see how it does, see how it goes, understand what type of customers you're dealing with. And once you get your weight up, once you start feeling like I feel good about this, you expand. It's going to get to a point where you might say, well, I'm going to have to bring in more help. And that's normal. That's normal. That's where I'm at right now because we're making it. We're making things happen. July has been the best month so far on a platform. I only started about 7 months ago. So to me, doing this, I've seen the progress. I went through the trials and tribulations, right? I've seen where people on YouTube personally make sure this is on because I see y'all looking. I don't see no one talking. I've seen it where people actually got onto the platform and complain. For example, it was some guys that wanted to do Turo. They wanted to go ahead and say, I want to do Turo. So we got a Lamborghini in Iowa. I don't know too many people driving Lamborghinis in Iowa. Now, Miami, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Toronto, Canada, places where people are going to shine and wine and dine, willing and stealing and dealing. And to me, I thought they were crazy. The reason being is because they didn't know their market. That's one of the things that people mess up on. They don't know who they're marketing to. I'm a country boy. I'm not gonna lie. You could tell anyone, the Brooks, the Browns, I come from them, right? Didn't grow up in no big metropolis city or anything like that. But I use my eyes. I use my eyes and I talk to people. That's the thing you gotta know. You gotta be on the highway. You gotta be on the streets and look at the everyday man's car. There are options if you want to go for luxury, but if you do it luxury, you better have luxury money to go. I am talking to the people who want to start off. They're saying, hey, I want to get my foot through the door. Roger that. You want to do economical cars. The reason being that they are affordable, they're cheaper to get repaired. If you need to get them repaired, you can get everyday customers who are renting these type of cars to stay with that car, do extensions, do 1 month rentals, 2 month rentals, 3 month rentals, 4 month rentals. You just got to make sure the maintenance is done. Right now, we're dealing with right now on the phone, talking to my sister, and she's probably watching this too. We're just dealing with making sure we get the oil changes done, making sure the tires are rotated, making sure the car's washed. Very easy. And a lot of people nuke it. They nuke the hell out of it. And to me, all you got to do is just have a plan. Write it down. I always tell people that's something that it sounds like childhood stuff, but honestly, a lot of people, adults, don't want to write stuff down. They want to try to keep it in their head. And we owe. Write it down. Get you a whiteboard. Put your schedule on here, right? Get the whiteboard. Do what you have to do, right? If you got to do a whiteboard, I use Excel. I use Calendly. I use Google Calendars. I use all those things to make sure my team understands what's coming down the pipeline. We do daily messages. We do daily calls. And I don't want this to overburden you guys because I'm going to walk you through the whole steps with what I'm doing. When I did this, we started off communicating well. Now, we did come in hiccups with customers, but that's what's going to happen. The strategy for me to build up the rates that I did, and you think I'm lying and flying, I will show you here soon. What I had to do is start off low with the price. Not too low, but low enough to go underneath my competitors. And you might say, wow, because the thing is, no one knows, you have no ratings. When you do that, a lot of people will come over to your side and say, I'm curious about what this price is for the vehicle. And knock on wood, to this day, I made nearly over $10,000 in a short period of time. I had 2 cars. Then I expanded to 3, and we're about to go ahead and get 4 and 5 here shortly. Now, I don't mean to sound like I'm crazy or anything, but I'm just telling the truth right here. So I'm about to show you. Let me close some of these panels because I had a lot of panels up earlier. I'm going to show you exactly the data, what I have. So what you're walking into. I think if you got cars that are 2011 or newer, You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose. You're going to have a great opportunity. You got cars sitting around, and the aim for me was on top of this. Where do y'all think I'm at right I am in Bahrain, the Kingdom of Bahrain to be exact. I'm in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and I'm going to show you some data here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Because a lot of people think, oh, blah, 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 this. And this is just being straight honest. This is probably like, I've never been more sober in my life, honest. We're going to show this real quick. Let's go to present my share screen. I'm going to show you my share screen. Let's see if we can go here to Turo. That's what we're going to show you. I'm going to share this with you. So hopefully you see this. Now you see the price right there. We're not even done with the year yet. We're not. Now this is based, if you're looking at this is showing on wherever, it depends on what city you're at, right? If you in like a small city, chances are you're not going to see that. But being in Charlotte, North Carolina presented a lot of opportunities. First off, football season about to happen. So I don't think we're going to have a slowdown. I have to slow myself down. Football season about to happen. It's a sports city. You got the Charlotte Hornets. You got the Carolina Panthers. You got all the college cities out there, or college sports teams out there. And a lot of people are going to go to these games. So that's one thing that helped me in my favor. So let's go ahead and log in real quick. I'm going to show you something. I really don't want to sit here and blow smoke up your butt, because a lot of people want to say, I want to see the numbers. Okay, we'll show the numbers. We'll go to my email here and make it happen. Let's see what happens here. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know, Luke, I don't know. And just being honest with you, we can get this thing logging on. We can basically look at all the data. So a lot of people do these things, right? You can go in here and we'll accept this. We'll go in here, right? You can look at the prices, right? You can look at what they're doing per car. And it depends on your car too. If you got a newer car, it does help you in your favor. But if you got an older car, you can make that work too. I have a 2013 SUV that's renting out constantly, and families are renting it. So I'm thinking about the family person. I'm thinking about the person who's down on the luck. They're waiting on their car to get repaired, or person's flying in to visit family members. They're traveling down the south. I've saw my vehicle go all places, not just the East Coast of the United States, but up to the Midwest. I've seen it. I've seen it literally today. I got one of my cars in Indiana right now. Right now, Indiana. And a lot of people might be like, I don't know about that. And the reason why you're not willing to let go. Now, for me, I had to put it in my mind that I was going to succeed. And to me, I knew that using Turo was going to be a way to do this. And you can see a couple of people out here talking about as them being a host or whatnot. I know this cat right here, actually, in the Bay Area. I seen his article, read his story, and you see this is in UK, and this is in Canada. So you're in these areas. This is really aimed towards you right here. A lot of people sleep on it. A lot of people don't think it's possible because folks have put stuff in their head saying, well, I don't think you should do it. I think it's a bad idea, blah, 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 this. And that's not really how it should be, right? It should be where you're able to go in and show where you're coming through, right? As far as I have something, I'm growing something, and nothing's going to stop me. So it's not going to let me pull up here for some reason. I have to figure that out. Anyway, let's go to become a host, see what happens. Maybe it works. It might be with the screen. So we'll close this right here. But I can show you the data. I can pull it up. I don't want y'all to think that I'm making these things up. But honestly, with what I saw was that I've seen stuff keep shooting up. I deliberately shot myself in the foot, I think, in May, and I could have made more. I set the price a little bit too high. Now I was experimenting, but I was looking at what I was doing and understood what was going out there. The things that I did was look at what my competitors was doing. You always want to look at what your competitors doing. By that, you can go into an app like you're renting a vehicle. To say you looking at your vehicle that you think about renting, you can see what your competitors pricing their vehicles out. Look at their reviews, look what they got, how big their fleet is, and you might have one car. Remember, I started off with 2 cars on here. We're about to go to 5 and 6 here, right? Looking at their data, looking at what they set the price, people are always looking for a good deal. You can go in there and act like you're about to rent a vehicle. You can see if they're doing any discounts or whatnot, and then you can look and say, okay, when I put my vehicle on here, I'm going to knock a couple of dollars underneath what his price is, so people will start coming over there, and it works. I've seen people who have like 20 cars in Charlotte. And I actually talked to one of the guys when I started off, I asked him questions before I did this. And he said it's a great deal. He has customers sometimes 6 months at a time who will rent the vehicle, and he'll check on them, but he won't see that vehicle until 2 seasons from now. And he said that's the perfect deal right there, because you don't got to worry about cleaning the car, gas in the car. That customer's taking care of all that. Only thing you might have to worry about, hey, I might be locked out or some stuff like that, but that rarely happens. Additionally, like maintaining the maintenance, tracking it. If you got a guy, like I say again, you try to do this all on your own, you're gonna be stressed out. You're gonna have to have a team. I have a guy now. I'm not gonna mention his name because I don't have permission to mention his name yet. But I have a guy who can actually take the vehicle and get it done at right there in the property. He's got the tools. If there's anything major, we'll take it to the local repair shop. But as far as dealing with getting the vehicle ready to go and rent it out, he's perfect. All right. He's a good guy. And you got to have a maintenance guy. If you don't have a maintenance guy, talk to your local mechanic, see if he can work with you, work some deals with you. Also got a guy, like if I have a major cleanup, so I use automation to clean a car, right? To clean the inside of the car, clean the outside of the car. I don't have my staff physically clean the car because I have them move the cars. I need them to move the cars and focus on that task. I have it where if something got really, really bad, just to say, for example, pet hair, things like that, bird poop, like really bad, right? A vomit, it can happen. They come in there and clean it for me, and you can't even tell if anything was wrong with the vehicle, and makes the car smell brand new, like you got it at the dealership. But you got to be able to segment that stuff because it's important. If you have those different people, and you might say again, might be expensive. If you have those people in play for you, you can't go wrong. Another thing that I also do, I always look at the marketplace on Facebook. I did my first two cars with Avell at the dealership, and it wasn't too bad. Again, they were everyday working cars, right? The workhorse, I call them. But when it came to going to look at the price of the car, dealerships are going to charge you more. And right now, they're not making real good deals. They're charging people ridiculous amounts for APR on buying a vehicle. Your credit has to be near down perfect to actually buy a decent car at the dealership, right? Or you got to have a lot of cash to put down. I bumped all that. I don't get brand new cars. That's another thing I would tell people. Do not get an absolutely brand new car. There's two reasons to that. Number one, there's a recall. There's always going to be recalls on these new cars. If your car has a recall, Turo will flag it and say, well, we're going to flag your car. It can't be rented out. We're going to unlist it until you can get this recall fixed. With a recall, you don't know when that's going to be fixed. It can be weeks, months, or even years because it might be something minor. Like, oh, the door hinge gets loose some cars, but we don't know what the fix is other than doing this one little thing, but it's not a fix. The second thing is that I don't want a new car because at the end of the day, if you're paying for a brand new car, how much does a brand new car cost? Goes back to it. Brand new car can be expensive. It could be costing you 20, 30, maybe 40, higher than that. If it gets in a wreck and you're making payments on a car, what do? If you don't got gap insurance, or if you got a car that you're about to put on a thing, you might be like, ugh, I don't know if I want to do that. What I would do instead is go to the marketplace. I'll go to Facebook Market. I would check out Craigslist. I would check out Auto Trader. I would look at different places where I can get a good deal. And you can get these cars for a few $1,000s. If you got a few $1,000s, or you can get the money from the bank to give you a quick loan, you'll pay that loan off probably in 6 months, 6 to 7 months, to be honest with you. And you can walk out proud and smiling. So let me see if I can actually do this real quick. Let's see. Let's call my boy Ozzy here. He's calling me right now, my mechanic right here. I wasn't supposed to say his name, but we'll talk to him later. But what we're gonna do is next is this. For the people who are looking, if you're serious about this, you want to know more about this, I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is running across the screen right now. If you go there right now and check it out, you will see what I'm talking about with my videos. My videos are going to walk you through everything I'm doing and will continue to grow. I'm going to cut this short because this is dealing with business right here. Because he's calling me about some work to be done to the cars, which you got to get them back on the road in the morning and make sure that they stay running. And that's another thing we'll talk about further on. But I appreciate y'all time. Again, if you understood this video and you understood where I'm coming from and you like to know more, go ahead and subscribe and like and comment. Don't forget to comment. Till then, guys, I see you on the other side. Take care.